baby. I just wanna tell you that. No, no, no.
Hello everyone and welcome to this first look video at Far Cry 6. Scheduled for release on October 7th, this is Ubisoft's most ambitious open world game yet, and a huge thank you to Ubisoft for sponsoring today's video. I've been lucky enough to get my hands on some exclusive gameplay footage, and I have some new and exciting details to share with you today, so let's just get right into it. So Far Cry 6 takes place on the fictional tropical island of Yara, deep in the heart of the Caribbean. It's a rich, diverse environment alongside decaying urban landscapes, but before we talk more about the island itself, let me first bring you up to speed with the story so far. So, frozen in time, Yara was once a prosperous and peaceful nation. 50 years ago, however, a revolution occurred when the father of Anton Castillo, played by the great Giancarlo Esposito, was Yara's El Presidente. The revolution resulted in Anton's father being executed right before his very eyes, and in the 50 years that followed, Yara experienced substantial economic decline. Eventually, Anton himself was elected El Presidente on the promise of rebuilding Yara to the place it was 50 years ago. Anyone who dared speak out against his methods was rounded up into forced labor, and his oppression of the Yaran people has pushed the island to the brink of a new revolution. In response, Anton tightened his grip on the island, and to achieve his dream for Yara and his son Diego, Anton has cracked down on the country's freedoms, instituted brutal social reforms, and now Yara finds itself on the verge of collapse.
Rule or be ruled. A Castillo must be a lion, for Yara is full of lambs.
Okay, so let's talk about some of our main protagonists. So, at the start of your journey, you'll get to pick your identity while evolving as a guerrilla. That's guerrilla, not gorilla. And gathering more weapons and gear to fight Anton's regime. You play as Danny Rojas, and you will experience the revolution through Danny's eyes from the very start of the game. Born and raised in Yara's capital, you are a young military dropout who wants nothing to do with Anton or the revolution. You just want to get the hell off this island while you still can. But once you're face to face with Anton's brutality, you realise that the only chance to truly live free is to lead an army of guerrilla fighters into a new revolution. You will join forces with a colourful cast of characters, including Clara Garcia, the leader of the revolutionary group Libertad.
When tyranny is law, revolution is order.
And of course, Juan Cortez, a jaded ex-KGB spy and guerrilla master.
Tostador. The two go together like fire and fury.
From jungles, beaches and swamps to villages, towns and cities, the island of Yara has been designed in a way that makes you, the player, feel like you're exploring an entire country, and not just a single region like some of the previous Far Cry games. It really feels like Ubisoft are trying to switch up the formula here and make this Far Cry game stand out from the rest, with a real emphasis on storytelling and world building, and you know, this is the first Far Cry game releasing on this brand new generation of consoles, the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. So it would make sense that Ubisoft would want to capitalize on this brand new hardware, increasing visual fidelity and frame rates, and the game is still set to release on Xbox One and PS4 as well, so if you haven't been able to get your hands on the latest generation of consoles, understandably, you don't need to worry about missing out on this one.
If a dog refuses to break, then we must put them down.
From the onset of Anton's rise to power and the beginning of his plans to rebuild paradise, the capital city of Esperanza has been placed under martial law. Controlled by Anton's elite forces, the city has become a no-go area for Yaran civilians. Guerrilla only venture into the confines of the concrete-walled capital on a needs-most basis. That's where guerrilla paths come in handy, a sprawling network of hidden paths that the guerrillas can use to bypass the island's military forces. You can also find some valuable gear, intel, and vantage points while navigating these paths. The road networks on the island are controlled by checkpoints throughout Yara, and they need to be taken for Libertad, allowing guerrillas to navigate the road network safely. The regime's flat cannons are how Anton keeps control of the airspace above Yara, and players will be shot down if they try to fly a plane or helicopter with them in operation. The cannons can be found in military locations spread across Yara, and they need to be destroyed one at a time. Outposts are also back in Far Cry 6, and they are now called FND bases with a few more features to make them even more interesting to tackle. Now, Far Cry wouldn't be Far Cry without vehicles, would it? And Yara is well known for its iconic variety of vehicles frozen in time, from land, sea and air, each with their own unique driving characteristics. I just love that little bobblehead of Vast from Far Cry 3, by the way, that's a nice touch. Another option for Danny as a local Yaran is to hide in plain sight by holstering weapons. A brand new feature in Far Cry 6 which allows players to interact with the world around them without constantly being targeted by Anton's soldiers. Just don't raise suspicions by getting too close, and don't enter into restricted areas without expecting all hell to break loose. But how can guerrilla hide when everything is controlled by the military, you might ask? Well, this is where guerrilla camps come in, the place where guerrillas go to hide from Anton's forces, to plan their attacks and to regroup after a fight. These camps will be the central hub where you prepare for battle and where most mission givers can be found. And these hidden camps are located all across the landscape of Yara. Now, when facing Anton Castillo and his army, the odds aren't really in your favour. The guerrillas are outnumbered, outgunned, and your only chance is by making the enemy feel like there are 100 of you, when really you're just an army of one. That's what the guerrilla fantasy is all about, and because the island has been cut off from the rest of the world for decades, Yaran people are used to making what they need from what they have, and in Far Cry 6, the guerrillas take the Resolver philosophy to a whole new level. Fueled by the creativity of Resolver mastermind Juan Cortez, Far Cry 6 features a broad and unexpected arsenal of customizable weapons and tools. Players can go deeper into their own playstyle and experiment with a wider range of combinations than ever before. If you're sneaking into a military base, for example, you can gear up for stealth and sabotage to help you remain undetected. On the other hand, if you're planning to regain a checkpoint by force, your equipment can help you deal with heavy damage and giving you an ace up your sleeve should reinforcements be called in. Another great feature, and one that kind of helps Far Cry 6 feel more like an RPG, is that all perks in the game are now tied to the gear that you find, giving you meaningful ways to optimize your abilities. In this example, the marksman goggles will make you a deadlier sniper, improving headshot damage, while your vest, pants, and shoes will improve stealth and mobility. And with those gloves, you'll be sure to never miss your target when throwing knives. Far Cry 6 has the biggest roster of weapons in a Far Cry game to date, with more than 49 military-grade weapons to choose from, and there are loads of customization elements like suppressors, scopes, laser pointers, and more. And take this sniper rifle for example, you can add a homemade Resolver scope to help keep your distance, throw on an American suppressor to stay quiet, and how about some armor-piercing rounds to ensure clean headshots through helmets. Oh yeah, sniping looks fun in this game. Now let's take a look at some more of these iconic Resolver weapons. Created by combining objects like motorcycle engines, sardine cans, gas bombs, oh and let's not forget some old school CDs, so that you can blast tunes through the streets of Esperanza while simultaneously blasting enemy soldiers with the new deadly disc launcher. Also new to Far Cry 6, and one of my personal favourite new features, are Supremos. A new toy designed to truly make you feel like a one guerrilla army.
Hey, what's your size?
Supremo on or off?
Supremos can be activated to unleash a devastating special ability, and depending on your approach to each mission, choosing the right Supremo for the right job is another great way to complement your playstyle. We all know things don't always go to plan, right? So let's say that you're running through a stealth mission and things get a little bit messy. Well, the Exterminator backpack is your best friend when all else fails. The last resort DIY rocket launcher that will destroy any reinforcements in your range. That is so sick. But the Resolver philosophy doesn't stop at your loadout. Oh no, guerrillas will also find inventive ways to turn everyday vehicles into weapons capable of facing Castillo's army. Players will now have their very own ride that they will be able to customize inside and out and have it delivered to you almost anywhere on the island. You will be able to truly make the vehicle your own and navigate Yara with style, adding turrets, various countermeasures, and of course some sick new rims. But why go it alone on a mission when you can bring a friend along? A returning fan favourite feature in Far Cry 6 are amigos, and they're back to help you on your crazy journey to free Yara. Meet Guapo, the soldier-eating crocodile who can help get rid of enemies quickly and efficiently, and he is also a great asset while navigating rivers and other large bodies of water. And who could forget Chorizo the sausage dog? Doesn't he just melt your heart? While his adorable little face will help you to distract soldiers when trying to take them down from the shadows, he will of course help you out if that technique fails. But listen, if anybody hurts my boy Chorizo, don't be surprised when I become the new Baba Yaga and go on a revenge-fueled killing spree to avenge my little dude. Who's a good boy? Having the right tools to complement your playstyle is a core part of Far Cry 6, as you can see, and the guerrilla fantasy with its perfect blend of stealth and action is a great fit for the Far Cry DNA, and players will now have more tools than ever before thanks to the new Resolver philosophy. Players are given a huge amount of freedom to play the game however they want, and I for one can't wait to get stuck into Far Cry 6 later this year on October 7th. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Thank you again to Ubisoft for sponsoring this one, and thank you so much for watching till the very end. And if you did, do me a favor and leave a like, it really helps these more informative videos get noticed by YouTube's algorithm. Subscribe with notifications on so that you don't miss out on any future Far Cry 6 content, and with that said, have a great day, and I will catch you legends in the next one.